Tonight, we'll be going through a collection of unsettling SCP anomalies, some widely known, others often overlooked, and breaking down their stories in a calm, steady way. This is a long-form, low-volume video designed for background listening while you sleep, study, or unwind. Settle in, get comfortable, and if you're listening before bed, I hope you get a good night's rest. What you're about to hear is the explanation and summary of a hostile entity known as Anomaly 106. The anomaly appears as an elderly humanoid male. Its body is thin and frail in shape, but severely decayed in appearance. The skin is darkened, almost rotting. Its limbs are elongated. Its posture is slightly hunched. It moves slowly, but that slowness is misleading. Anomaly 106 is capable of sudden bursts of speed when necessary. It can crawl along walls. It can cling to ceilings, and it can pass through solid surfaces as if they were liquid. Metal does not stop it. Concrete does not stop it. Reinforced containment does not stop it. The anomaly secretes a corrosive substance from its body. Any surface it touches begins to decay. Metal rusts instantly. Concrete weakens. Organic matter breaks down rapidly. The smell is described as overwhelming. Containment of Anomaly 106 requires heavy isolation. It is housed in a reinforced chamber designed to delay breaches, not prevent them, because it cannot be permanently contained. At unpredictable intervals, the anomaly will enter an active state. When this happens, it begins hunting. It selects a target. There is no known pattern for how it chooses. The target may be nearby. It may be distant. It may be someone who has never interacted with it before. Once chosen, the anomaly moves. And when it reaches its target, it does not kill immediately. Instead, Anomaly 106 drags the victim into what is known as its pocket dimension. This dimension is not accessible by normal means. It appears to exist outside standard space. Those who enter describe it as a decayed labyrinth. The environment is dark, organic, and constantly shifting. Surfaces feel wet. The air is heavy. Sounds echo in unnatural ways. The dimension seems designed for one purpose: containment, but not of the anomaly, of the victim. Inside this space, time becomes unreliable. Distance stretches and folds. Escape is nearly impossible. And Anomaly 106 is always present. It does not rush, it stalks. Survivors of brief containment dimension exposure describe psychological manipulation. The anomaly appears to enjoy inducing fear. It toys with its victims. It allows hope, then removes it. It prolongs suffering. Eventually the victim is killed. Remains are rarely recovered. The anomaly then returns to normal space, passive again, still waiting. Several containment breaches have resulted in mass casualties. During one such breach, the anomaly disabled reinforced doors, melted through barriers, and moved through multiple secure levels before being lured back to containment. It does not act randomly. It appears intelligent. It understands tactics. It anticipates responses. It avoids traps when possible. In some cases, the anomaly has been heard speaking. The voice is low, distorted, almost amused. It does not communicate clearly, but it acknowledges awareness. Attempts to permanently neutralize Anomaly 106 have failed. Explosives cause temporary damage. Fire slows it briefly. High-impact weaponry disrupts its form for seconds, but it reforms, always. The most disturbing aspect of Anomaly 106 is not its strength, it is its patience. It does not need constant violence. It can wait days, weeks, months, until the right moment. Personnel working near its containment chamber report feelings of unease. Some claim to hear scraping sounds even when it is stationary. Others report the sensation of being watched. It has never been observed sleeping. It has never been observed aging. It simply exists, waiting for the next opportunity. And when it breaches, it does not panic. It does not rage. It hunts. Anomaly 106 is terrifying because it combines inevitability with cruelty. Unlike Anomaly 096, which reacts automatically. Unlike Anomaly 173, which requires a blink, this anomaly chooses. It selects. It stalks. The pocket dimension removes hope entirely. It is not a quick death. It is a slow realization that escape is impossible. The environment is tailored to create fear, and the anomaly understands that. The true horror lies in intelligence. This is not an animal reacting to a trigger. It is something that understands suffering and prefers it prolonged. It does not need to win quickly. It wins eventually. That certainty is what makes it powerful. There is no strategy to outlast it, only delay. And delay is never permanent. Anomaly 106 remains contained. Its chamber remains reinforced, and its pocket dimension remains inaccessible. But containment is temporary, and patience belongs to the anomaly. Much about this entity remains unknown. Anomaly 610. This anomaly is not a single creature, it is not a single location, it is an infection. Anomaly 610 spreads through contact with contaminated organic matter. It alters living tissue gradually, reshaping it into something unrecognizable. The infection was first discovered in a remote, isolated region. Entire villages were found abandoned. Structures were damaged from the inside. Organic material covered walls, floors, and ceilings. At first it appeared to be decay, but it was not decay, it was growth. Inside the quarantine zone, explorers discovered bodies in various stages of transformation. Some were barely altered. Others had lost all recognizable human form. The infection does not kill immediately. Instead, it reshapes. Skin thickens and splits, limbs distort, extra growths form along the spine and ribs, facial features collapse or shift into unnatural arrangements. Despite this, many infected individuals remain alive for extended periods. They move, they vocalize, they react to intruders. The most disturbing aspect of Anomaly 610 is that it appears to possess a form of collective behavior. The infected do not attack mindlessly, they observe, they coordinate. In some cases, they attempt to communicate. Exploration teams entering infected areas report a strong odor of rot and iron. The air feels damp. Surfaces appear organic, even when originally made of wood or stone. The infection spreads across environments as well as bodies. Walls pulse subtly. Floors feel soft beneath boots. Entire rooms appear partially alive. Inside deeper zones, the infection becomes denser. Structures lose their original shape. Buildings collapse into masses of flesh-like material fused together. At advanced stages, the infected no longer resemble humans. They vary in size and structure. Some crawl along walls, others stand upright but with elongated limbs. Many appear fused together in clusters, and yet traces of humanity remain. Clothing fragments, speech patterns, recognizable gestures. This suggests that the mind is not immediately destroyed. The infection changes the body first. Then, slowly, it changes the rest. Attempts to study Anomaly 610 reveal that the infection does not respond like known diseases. It adapts quickly. It mutates under stress. Traditional containment methods slow it but do not eliminate it. Fire damages infected material temporarily, but complete eradication has never been confirmed. The infected display aggression toward non-infected humans. However, the aggression appears purposeful rather than chaotic. They attempt to spread. Physical contact results in contamination. Protective suits reduce risk but do not guarantee safety. In some recorded cases, infected individuals have spoken directly to exploration teams. Their voices are distorted, layered, and unstable. Some ask for help. Some warn others to leave. Some speak as if nothing is wrong. This creates a psychological challenge. It is not easy to eliminate something that still speaks like a person. Over time, the infected zone expands slowly outward. Containment efforts focus on isolation rather than destruction. Because destruction has not proven effective, Anomaly 610 does not appear to have a single origin point. It behaves more like a spreading ecosystem than a pathogen. It grows where it can, it reshapes what it touches, and it preserves just enough of the host to remain disturbing. There is no confirmed cure, there is no confirmed immunity, there is only containment, and containment is fragile. That is where the story stands. The infection remains active, the quarantine zone remains sealed, and the flesh continues to grow. Anomaly 610 is terrifying because it removes the boundary between self and environment. The body is no longer permanent. It can be reshaped, rewritten, merged. Unlike anomalies that kill instantly, this one changes slowly, which means awareness can remain during transformation. The horror is not just physical, it is identity loss. When infected individuals speak, even partially, it forces a difficult question. At what point does someone stop being themselves? The infection spreads through touch, something natural and unavoidable. It turns proximity into danger. It turns comfort into risk. The growth covering walls and structures adds another layer of fear. The world itself becomes alive, and not in a neutral way, in a hostile way. The name often associated with this anomaly reflects that hostility. The flesh does not merely grow, it resists, it rejects what is not part of it, and it expands. Anomaly 610 remains contained within a quarantined region. Its infection continues to exist beyond sealed borders, and eradication has never been confirmed. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 402. There is only one confirmed rule regarding this anomaly. Do not look at it. At first, that rule seems simple, but the problem is that Anomaly 402 does not announce itself. It does not move loudly. It does not chase immediately. It waits. Anomaly 402 appears as a tall humanoid silhouette. Its proportions are slightly incorrect. The arms appear too long, the posture slightly tilted, the head angled downward, as if observing the ground. When viewed indirectly, through cameras, reflections, or peripheral vision, the anomaly appears blurred. Details are inconsistent. No two descriptions fully match. but one detail remains constant. If a person sees its face clearly, the anomaly becomes active. It does not matter how long the exposure lasts. It does not matter whether it is intentional. It does not matter if it occurs through a screen, a mirror, or a reflection. Once the face is perceived, the sequence begins. The affected individual reports a sensation of being observed. Not immediately, sometimes hours pass, sometimes days, but eventually, the awareness sets in. The person feels watched when alone. Lights flicker slightly, reflections appear delayed, shadows linger longer than they should. Then the anomaly begins to move closer. Security footage shows the silhouette appearing at increasing proximity to the affected individual. At first it stands at the end of hallways, later it appears just outside doorways, eventually it stands inside the same room. The individual often does not see it directly during this progression, but cameras do. The anomaly never attacks while being watched. It only moves when unseen, and it moves quickly. In one recorded incident, an affected individual attempted to avoid all reflective surfaces. All mirrors were covered, all screens disabled. For several days, nothing occurred. Then, during a brief lapse in attention, a momentary glance toward a dark window, the individual froze. The anomaly was visible behind them. Its face was no longer blurred, it was clear. Moments later, the cameras recorded a single frame of distortion. When visual clarity returned, the individual was gone. No sound was captured. No remains were found. The anomaly had disappeared as well. Containment efforts focus entirely on prevention. All visual records containing anomaly 402 are heavily censored. Facial regions are permanently obscured. Direct observation is prohibited. The anomaly does not breach physically. It does not break containment barriers. It activates through awareness. The more clearly it is described, the more unstable recordings become. In some cases, transcripts of detailed facial descriptions have caused equipment malfunction. Because of this, documentation avoids specifics. The face is never fully described. The most disturbing aspect of anomaly 402 is that it does not need proximity at first. It begins with sight, and sight can happen anywhere. A distorted image, a corrupted frame, a reflection in a glass surface. The rule is simple: do not look at it. But humans are curious, and curiosity only requires a moment. Anomaly 402 is frightening because it weaponizes instinct. Looking is automatic. When something feels wrong, we look closer. This anomaly punishes that instinct. It also removes control gradually. The activation does not result in immediate violence. It results in inevitability. The slow approach is what makes it terrifying. It does not rush. It does not scream. It simply gets closer. And once its face is seen clearly, the outcome is already decided. The horror comes from knowing that you may have already triggered it without realizing, that the reflection you ignored, the shadow you dismissed, the shape in the hallway may have been enough. Anomaly 402 remains undocumented in full detail. Its facial features remain obscured in all records, and the rule remains unchanged. Do not look at it. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 521. Anomaly 521 does not appear immediately threatening. It does not move quickly. It does not attack without warning. It does not reveal itself all at once. Instead, it imitates. The anomaly is capable of perfectly replicating the appearance, voice, and behavioral patterns of a specific individual. At first, the replication is flawless. Family members do not notice a difference. Friends do not sense anything unusual. Security cameras detect no anomalies. But over time, subtle inconsistencies begin to appear. Speech patterns shift slightly. Eye contact lasts a moment too long. Responses feel rehearsed. The anomaly chooses a target carefully. It observes from a distance first. In early stages, witnesses report seeing someone standing at the edge of wooded areas, across the street, or just beyond the range of porch lights. The figure does not approach, it only watches. Then the duplication occurs. The original individual disappears without signs of struggle. There is no evidence of forced entry, no recorded conflict, no sound captured. The next time that person is seen, something feels slightly off. The anomaly does not replace immediately in public settings. It prefers isolation, late at night, inside homes, when only a few people are present. Family members begin to report unease. They describe small details. The way their loved one blinks less frequently, the way their posture remains unusually still, the way they pause before responding to simple questions. The anomaly learns by observation. It studies tone, habits, and routine. In several documented cases, the imitation improved over days. Early behavior was awkward. Later behavior was convincing. But one detail remained consistent. The anomaly avoids reflective surfaces. Mirrors cause hesitation. Glass creates subtle distortion in its movements. In some cases, its reflection does not align perfectly with its physical position. Attempts to confront suspected anomalies have failed. When accused directly, the anomaly does not react emotionally. It smiles, but the smile is delayed, and the eyes remain focused. In the most severe recorded incident, a family of 4 reported increasingly strange behavior from one member. The individual appeared physically identical, but small things changed. Favorite foods were forgotten. Childhood memories were recalled incorrectly. Personal stories were altered slightly. One night, a security camera captured the individual standing motionless in the hallway for over 3 hours, not moving, not blinking, simply facing the bedrooms. The following morning, the original individual was confirmed missing. Biological testing later revealed that the anomaly's internal structure did not match human anatomy. Its skeletal framework was incomplete. Muscle fibers appeared rearranged. Internal organs were misaligned. Despite this, it functioned normally. When exposed and physically restrained, Anomaly 521 does not attack immediately. It attempts to continue imitation. Even while restrained, it maintains eye contact and mimics speech patterns of those nearby. When containment fails, the anomaly retreats silently. It does not chase, it relocates. It selects another target. The most disturbing aspect of Anomaly 521 is that it does not appear to have a limit. There is no confirmed number of duplicates. There is no confirmed method of detection before replacement. The only consistent warning sign is intuition, a sense that something is not right. But by the time that feeling becomes clear, the original person may already be gone. Anomaly 521 attacks trust. It does not rely on speed or strength. It relies on familiarity. Humans recognize patterns in the people they know. When those patterns shift slightly, it creates discomfort, but discomfort is easy to ignore. The anomaly depends on that hesitation. It thrives in small doubts. The horror is not the attack, it is the realization. The moment when someone understands that the person standing in front of them is not the person they remember, and that the real one may never return. The imitator removes safety from the most trusted spaces, homes, families, relationships. It does not need to be seen stalking, it only needs to be believed. And once belief settles in, it is already inside. Anomaly 521 remains unconfirmed in total count. Its replacement patterns continue sporadically, and detection remains unreliable. If someone you know seems slightly different, look carefully, but not too carefully. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 742. Unlike many other dangerous anomalies, Anomaly 742 does not rely on sudden movement or overwhelming force. It relies on planning. The anomaly appears humanoid in shape, but elongated beyond natural proportions. Its limbs are slightly too long. Its fingers taper unnaturally. Its posture remains unnervingly relaxed. It does not rush. It observes. Initial sightings describe the anomaly standing at a distance, often at the edge of wooded areas, behind buildings, or across empty roads at night. It does not approach immediately. It waits to be noticed. Once eye contact is established, the anomaly does not react aggressively. Instead, it retreats. This retreat is intentional. From that point forward, the individual who made eye contact becomes the target. Unlike trigger-based entities, Anomaly 742 does not activate through sight alone. It activates through recognition. Once it knows you have seen it, the hunt begins. The anomaly studies its target carefully. It observes routines. It learns schedules. It identifies patterns. In early stages, the target may notice subtle changes. Doors left slightly open, objects misplaced, lights turning on in empty rooms. Security footage often captures the anomaly entering properties silently. It does not break in violently. It tests. It learns how locks function. It studies camera angles. It identifies blind spots. The anomaly does not attack immediately because it prefers isolation. It waits for the target to be alone. In one documented case, the target reported repeated sightings over several weeks. Each time, the anomaly appeared closer. At first, it stood across the street. Later, it appeared at the edge of the driveway. Eventually, it was visible through second-floor windows. The target attempted relocation. It did not help. The anomaly adapts quickly to environmental changes. It understands vehicles. It understands technology. It avoids predictable routes. During pursuit, it remains patient. In some cases, it has followed targets for months before acting. The most disturbing detail is that Anomaly 742 appears to enjoy unpredictability. It alters patterns deliberately to destabilize its target. Some nights, it does not appear at all. Other nights, it stands in full view. It allows hope, then removes it. Victims report the sensation of being studied rather than chased. Sleep becomes difficult. Isolation becomes constant. Paranoia intensifies. Eventually, the anomaly initiates contact. Contact is always direct. There is no struggle recorded, no prolonged chase, just a final encounter. In one case, a camera captured the anomaly standing directly behind the target for several seconds before the footage cut to static. When visual clarity returned, the individual was gone. No remains were recovered. The anomaly does not linger after a successful hunt. It vanishes until it selects someone new. Attempts to trap or ambush the anomaly have failed. It anticipates coordinated efforts. When multiple individuals attempt confrontation, the anomaly retreats and waits. It prefers one-on-one isolation. It does not attack groups unless forced. Even then, it disables individuals strategically, always separating, always isolating. The anomaly does not appear driven by hunger. It does not consume in a biological sense. Its motive remains unknown, but its behavior suggests purpose beyond survival. It hunts because it chooses to, and it always wins eventually. The anomaly adapts quickly to environmental changes. It understands vehicles. It understands technology. It avoids predictable routes. During pursuit, it remains patient. In some cases, it has followed targets for months before acting. The most disturbing detail is that anomaly 742 appears to enjoy unpredictability. It alters patterns deliberately to destabilize its target. Some nights it does not appear at all. Other nights it stands in full view. It allows hope, then removes it. Victims report the sensation of being studied rather than chased. Sleep becomes difficult. Isolation becomes constant. Paranoia intensifies. Eventually, the anomaly initiates contact. Contact is always direct. There is no struggle recorded, no prolonged chase, just a final encounter. In one case, a camera captured the anomaly standing directly behind the target for several seconds before the footage cut to static. When visual clarity returned, the individual was gone. No remains were recovered. The anomaly does not linger after a successful hunt. It vanishes until it selects someone new. Attempts to trap or ambush the anomaly have failed. It anticipates coordinated efforts. When multiple individuals attempt confrontation, the anomaly retreats and waits. It prefers one-on-one isolation. It does not attack groups unless forced. Even then, it disables individuals strategically, always separating, always isolating. The anomaly does not appear driven by hunger. It does not consume in a biological sense. Its motive remains unknown, but its behavior suggests purpose beyond survival. It hunts because it chooses to, and it always wins eventually. Anomaly 814. Anomaly 814 does not rush. It does not chase immediately. It does not attack at first sight. Instead, it introduces itself slowly. Initial sightings typically occur at a distance, across a field, at the end of a street, standing near a tree line. The figure is tall, slightly hunched, motionless. It does not wave. It does not move. It simply stands. Witnesses often dismiss the first sighting as imagination, a trick of the light, a person walking home, a shadow in poor visibility. But the sightings continue. The anomaly appears again the following night, closer, still at a distance, still motionless. It does not approach while observed. It waits for recognition. Once a person fully acknowledges its presence, the pattern begins. Over the next several days, the anomaly will appear at gradually decreasing distances, from the edge of a yard, to the sidewalk, to just beyond the porch light. It does not move while watched, and it never crosses a threshold during this phase. Victims report increased anxiety. They begin checking windows, installing cameras, leaving lights on overnight. The anomaly is captured on recording devices, but only briefly. It never appears walking, only standing. Each new recording shows it slightly closer than before. Then abruptly, it stops appearing. No more sightings, no more recordings, no more shadows. For several days, nothing happens. This is the most dangerous stage, because this is when the victim relaxes. Sleep improves. Curtains are opened again. Cameras are checked less frequently. The anomaly has not left. It has adapted. Instead of appearing outside, it begins appearing inside. At first, only in reflections, behind the victim in a mirror for a fraction of a second, in the dark screen of a powered-off television, in a hallway camera frame that glitches once and then returns to normal. The victim begins to doubt themselves. They question whether the original sightings were real. That doubt is intentional. Anomaly 814 destabilizes before it strikes. The final stage occurs without warning. There is no escalation in distance, no dramatic buildup, just absence. In documented cases, victims were last seen alone in secure environments, doors locked, windows sealed, no forced entry. The anomaly does not break in. It waits for moments of vulnerability, a shower running, headphones in use, lights turned off. In one recorded incident, a camera inside a living room captured a faint distortion in the far corner of the frame. The distortion lasted less than 1 second. When clarity returned, the individual sitting on the couch was gone. No sound was recorded, no struggle. The anomaly does not linger after completion. It does not remain in the home. It does not return to the same location. It selects a new target. The most disturbing detail is that the anomaly always gives its target time. Time to notice, time to fear, time to believe it has gone away. Hope is part of the hunting method. Anomaly 814 is frightening because it manipulates relief. Most threats escalate continuously. This one escalates, then stops. The pause is the weapon. Humans adapt quickly to fear. When danger disappears even briefly, the mind lowers its guard. That moment of relaxation is when the anomaly acts. It does not need force. It does not need speed. It needs patience. And it always allows enough time for its victim to feel safe again. That cycle, fear, relief, vulnerability, is deeply psychological. The anomaly weaponizes comfort, and comfort is easier to exploit than panic. Anomaly 814 remains uncontained. Its sightings continue sporadically across isolated regions, and its disappearance patterns remain consistent. If something watches you from a distance and then stops appearing, it may not have left. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 901. There is no confirmed point of entry. That is the first recorded detail. In every documented case involving Anomaly 901, there were no signs of forced entry. Doors were locked, windows were sealed, security systems showed no breach, and yet the entity was present. Anomaly 901 does not approach from outside. It does not stand in yards. It does not appear on sidewalks. It does not linger at tree lines. It manifests only after the residence is secured. The pattern is consistent. An individual returns home for the night. Doors are locked. Lights are turned off. The environment is confirmed safe. Then, small inconsistencies begin. A door that was closed is slightly open. A hallway light that was turned off is dimly glowing. A faint sound comes from another room. At first, these details are dismissed. Homes make sounds. Memory is imperfect. Fatigue creates confusion. But Anomaly 901 depends on that dismissal. It does not reveal itself fully. It tests awareness. In early stages, the entity is not directly seen. It is sensed. A shift in air pressure, a presence in peripheral vision, the feeling that someone is standing behind you in a dark room. When residents turn to look, nothing is there. Because the anomaly does not stand in open view, it occupies spaces not being directly observed, behind doors, inside closets, just beyond corners. The first confirmed visual evidence of Anomaly 901 occurred during a security review. Footage showed a bedroom door slowly opening at approximately 3 in the morning. No one appeared in the hallway. The door opened inward, then stopped. Several seconds later, it closed. The occupant did not wake. On subsequent nights, the activity escalated. Footsteps were recorded inside hallways while residents were asleep. Floorboards shifted. Shadows passed beneath door frames, but no visible figure appeared on camera. This is because Anomaly 901 does not behave like a physical intruder. It does not move continuously. It relocates between moments of observation. In multiple cases, residents reported seeing something only after confirming the house was empty. One individual performed a complete check of their home. Closets inspected, basement searched, doors verified, locked. Satisfied, they returned to the living room. Upon sitting down, they noticed the faint outline of a figure reflected in the dark television screen behind them. The figure was standing directly behind the couch. When they turned around, nothing was there. The reflection, however, had been recorded. Anomaly 901 appears most clearly in reflective surfaces after the home has been secured. This has led to a critical observation. The entity does not enter. It waits for confirmation that it is alone with its target. Locking the doors is not protection, it is permission. The anomaly's behavior suggests awareness of safety routines. It does not activate while the house is active. It waits for silence. It waits for sleep. In the final documented phase of each case, activity ceases briefly. No sounds, no door movement, no reflections. This pause typically lasts 1 to 3 nights. During this time, the resident regains confidence. The feeling of being watched fades. Sleep improves. And then, on a night chosen by the anomaly, there is no escalation. There is no warning. There is only absence. In every recorded disappearance linked to Anomaly 901, the final security footage shows the residence completely empty. Doors remain locked. Windows remain sealed. No figure is seen entering. No figure is seen leaving. The individual is simply gone. The anomaly does not leave physical evidence. It does not damage property. It does not disturb objects significantly. It removes, quietly and completely. Anomaly 901 is frightening because it removes the illusion of safety. Locking doors is a ritual. It signals protection. The anomaly weaponizes that ritual. It activates only after the resident feels secure. The home is meant to be the final safe space. When that space becomes uncertain, there is nowhere else to retreat. Unlike stalkers or external predators, this entity bypasses entry. It suggests that security is irrelevant, that the danger does not come from outside. It comes after the locks, after the silence, after the lights go out. The horror lies in realization you did everything right, and it was never about entry, it was about presence. Anomaly 901 remains undocumented in full manifestation. There are no confirmed images of its physical form, and containment remains impossible. If you lock your doors tonight and everything feels quiet, it may already be inside. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 203. Anomaly 203 does not exist in physical space. It exists in reflection. The first recorded cases began with minor inconsistencies, a reflection blinking half a second too late, a smile lingering slightly longer than it should. An individual brushing their teeth at night noticed something subtle. Their reflection stopped brushing first, only for a fraction of a second. Then it resumed. The event was dismissed. Fatigue, lighting distortion, imagination. But the incidents continued. Mirrors in different rooms began showing small delays, movements slightly out of sync, head tilts that did not match. Anomaly 203 does not immediately replace the reflection. It studies. Early stage manifestations involve minor desynchronization. The reflected image may move slower or faster. Occasionally, it does not follow at all. In one documented case, a subject raised their hand in front of a mirror. The reflection followed, but when the subject lowered their hand, the reflection kept it raised for several seconds, maintaining eye contact, then slowly lowering it. The subject did not report fear at first, only confusion. Over time, the anomaly becomes bolder. The reflection begins to initiate movement. Small movements at first, a blink when the subject is still, a shift in posture, a smile that the subject does not make. Anomaly 203 appears to test reactions. If the subject ignores the discrepancy, activity increases. If the subject confronts the mirror directly, the reflection freezes and waits. In advanced cases, the reflection begins to communicate through expression, subtle mouth movements, whispers too quiet to confirm. In one case, audio recording devices placed near a mirror captured faint speech when no one was present. The speech matched the voice of the resident, but the resident was asleep. Anomaly 203 does not leave the mirror initially. It remains confined to reflective surfaces. However, a critical escalation phase has been documented. The subject begins to avoid mirrors, covering them, turning them toward walls, removing reflective surfaces entirely. For a short period, activity stops. No more inconsistencies, no more movement. This calm period typically lasts several days. Then reflections appear where none should exist. In dark television screens, in window glass at night, in the black surface of a powered-off phone. The reflection returns, even without a mirror. In the final stage, the anomaly stops mimicking entirely. The reflection becomes independent. It stands upright while the subject moves away. It maintains eye contact even when the subject looks down. And in the most severe cases, the reflection does not move when the subject does. It remains standing still, watching. The final recorded disappearance occurred after a subject reported that their reflection was no longer present at all. The mirror showed an empty room, even though they were standing in front of it. Security footage later showed the subject entering the bathroom, closing the door. Several seconds later, the camera captured a faint distortion in the mirror. When the door reopened, the subject exited normally, but their behavior was different. Speech patterns altered, eye contact sustained longer than usual, blinking frequency reduced. Medical examination revealed no immediate abnormalities, but weeks later, the individual vanished. In the bathroom mirror, however, their reflection remained, standing, smiling. Anomaly 203 does not simply distort, it replaces, and when it steps out, something steps in. Anomaly 203 is terrifying because mirrors represent identity. A reflection confirms existence. When that confirmation becomes unreliable, the self becomes unstable. The anomaly escalates slowly. It does not shock, it unsettles. It creates doubt, and doubt spreads. Avoiding mirrors does not solve the problem, because reflection is everywhere. Glass, screens, water, dark surfaces. The final horror is not death, it is replacement. The idea that the version inside the mirror may be more patient, more observant, and waiting for the moment to step through. Anomaly 203 remains active in reflective surfaces. Its manifestation criteria remain unclear, and avoidance has proven ineffective. If your reflection hesitates, even slightly, look carefully, but not for too long. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 636. Anomaly 636 does not imitate from a distance. It acquires. The entity appears humanoid, but its proportions are subtly incorrect. Its limbs are slightly too long. Its joints bend at shallow, unnatural angles. Its posture shifts between rigid stillness and slow, deliberate movement. The anomaly is most often encountered in rural areas, though urban incidents have increased in recent years. Initial reports describe hearing a familiar voice calling from outside at night, a family member's voice, a friend's voice, someone known. But the voice is slightly wrong. It pauses in unusual places. It repeats phrases. It lingers on syllables. When the voice is followed, the anomaly is seen at a distance, standing just beyond light, wearing someone's shape. In early stages, the disguise is incomplete. The skin fits loosely, facial muscles move stiffly, blinking appears forced. The anomaly studies reactions. If the target approaches cautiously, the anomaly retreats into darkness. If the target calls out, it responds, but the tone shifts slightly each time. Over time, the disguises improve. Anomaly 636 appears capable of learning muscle memory. Walking becomes smoother, speech becomes more fluid, eye contact becomes more natural. However, certain biological details remain incorrect. Breathing patterns are irregular, body temperature is lower than expected, pupils dilate inconsistently in light. The anomaly does not attack immediately, it prefers invitation. Many incidents begin with the anomaly appearing at a door late at night, knocking slowly, claiming to have been locked out, claiming confusion. In documented cases, individuals who allowed the anomaly inside were not seen again. In one recorded event, a security camera captured a man returning home after sunset. He unlocked the door, entered, closed it behind him. Minutes later, another version of the same man approached the door from outside. The second version knocked, repeated the man's own voice from earlier that evening. The camera footage became unstable at that point. When clarity returned, both versions were gone. Anomaly 636 does not consume in a visible manner, it absorbs. Once a subject is taken, the anomaly's disguise becomes more precise. Scars match, voice patterns align, habits improve. The replaced individual continues daily routines, but small inconsistencies persist. Sleep cycles change, food preferences shift slightly, personal memories become distorted. When confronted directly, the anomaly does not display anger. It studies the accuser's expression and adjusts its behavior accordingly. The most disturbing phase occurs when the anomaly encounters reflective surfaces. Mirrors occasionally show the original form beneath the skin, a thin, elongated structure, featureless except for deep-set eye sockets. In these moments, the anomaly avoids the mirror entirely. It does not like being seen without the disguise. Attempts to restrain Anomaly 636 have failed repeatedly. When threatened, the entity sheds its outer layer. The discarded skin collapses like fabric. The true form moves quickly, faster than expected. It does not fight for long. It escapes and begins again elsewhere. There is no confirmed number of victims. There is no confirmed original form, only layers and replacements. Anomaly 636 attacks recognition. It exploits familiarity. It does not merely copy appearance. It tries to become the person. The subtle biological flaws are what make it terrifying, because they are almost correct. The wrong blink, the delayed smile, the colder touch. These details create instinctive discomfort. The deeper horror lies in invitation. The anomaly prefers to be welcomed inside. It does not need to force entry. It needs trust. And once trust is given, the original is no longer necessary. Anomaly 636 remains uncontained. Its replacement patterns remain unpredictable, and detection relies heavily on intuition. If someone you know returns home, and something feels slightly different, you may not be mistaken. Much about this anomaly remains unknown. Anomaly 1300. Anomaly 1300 does not appear physically at first. It begins with observation. The earliest confirmed cases involved individuals reporting a sudden fixation on the night sky, not general stargazing, specific points of light, one star in particular. Witnesses describe feeling as though the star is brighter than the others, not visibly brighter, but present, aware. At first, the sensation is subtle, a feeling of being watched while outdoors at night, a sense of alignment, as if something vast has focused attention. Over the following days, affected individuals begin noticing unusual environmental behavior. Electronics malfunction briefly when they look upward. Animals become still when the individual steps outside at night. Dream patterns shift. The dreams are consistent across subjects, standing alone beneath a sky with fewer stars, except one, the same one. Closer. Anomaly 1300 does not move through space in a traditional way. It selects. Selection is the first phase. Subjects begin losing interest in normal routines. They spend more time outdoors at night, looking upward, drawn. Medical evaluations show no neurological abnormalities, but behavioral changes are consistent. During phase 2, environmental distortions begin. Street lights flicker in sequence when the subject walks beneath them. Shadows stretch in directions inconsistent with light sources. In some cases, faint geometric patterns appear in cloud formations directly above the subject. These patterns disappear when photographed, but witnesses confirm seeing them. The anomaly does not descend physically. Instead, reality near the subject appears slightly misaligned. Time perception shifts. Minutes feel longer under open sky. Conversations become difficult to maintain. Background noise dulls when the subject focuses upward. In advanced cases, the subject begins reporting that the star has moved, not across the sky, closer. It appears larger, clearer, almost structured. In the final recorded phase before disappearance, affected individuals withdraw socially. They spend extended hours alone outdoors at night. Some are observed standing motionless, staring upward. When approached, they respond slowly, as if listening to something distant. The last confirmed visual evidence of anomaly 1300 involves security footage capturing a subject standing in an open field. At approximately 2 in the morning, the sky above the subject appeared to distort for less than 1 second, a brief compression of stars inward toward a central point. When clarity returned, the subject was gone. No signs of movement, no disturbance to surrounding ground, only absence. The sky returned to normal. There are no confirmed recoveries. There are no confirmed remains. The anomaly does not attack violently. It does not cause visible destruction. It removes. Selection is rare. Incidents are spaced months apart. There is no known pattern in demographic selection. Age, location, and occupation appear irrelevant. The only shared variable is that each selected individual noticed the star first. The anomaly did not force attention. It waited for it. Anomaly 1300 is terrifying because it removes scale. It suggests that something vast is capable of focusing on something small, on a single human. The selection is not random violence, it is deliberate observation. The affected individuals are not hunted physically, they are chosen, and once chosen, their environment shifts subtly around them. The sky is normally distant, passive. This anomaly makes it active, aware. The most disturbing aspect is that nothing prevents selection. There is no containment chamber, no physical boundary, only awareness. And awareness begins with looking up. Anomaly 1300 remains uncontained. Its point of origin remains unknown, and its selection criteria remain unclear. If a star feels closer than the others, and you feel seen beneath it, you may already have been chosen. Much about this anomaly remains unknown.